Evening all, and welcome back to Factory Town. So, last episode we built this wonderful system here, this farm going into make our kitchen, farm, going into the kitchen to make what I hoped would be sandwiches, but turned out to not be because we need other things. So, I would like to correct that. I would like to make this work with sandwiches, but we can't do that because we need other bits and pieces. Also built this fantastic rail system, which I'm very proud of. I know it's not much, but I built that, and I'm happy with that. With help, of course, with help from Discord. So, no, but I'm happy with that. What I kind of want to do is I want to switch this up so that we will have a bank of farms producing grain, going into grain mills, and then the grain mills producing animal feed and flour. I'm not really sure what else flour is used in. Have a quick look here. Using a few recipes, not that many, but a few. Three. It's used in 4 recipes, so flour isn't a priority, really. Animal feed would be a much higher priority, so you could have some grain mills working like double shifts, doing what they do. And yeah, animal feed will take priority because obviously it's only 2 grain rather than a 3. Also just noticed that the icons for the farm when you mouse over have changed to be 3D ones as well, which is awesome. So yeah, I want to do that, and then the idea being that we'd have bank of farms producing the animal feed and flour. That would go into our rail network, and then the rail network can deliver that animal feed to our bank of pastures, and we'd have loads of pastures, which would then have things come out of them. Basically, I do want to kind of take this and move it elsewhere, but I'm thinking I don't want to do wool via a pasture, via the via this here. I'm thinking instead I should do it via cotton. I have just noticed there's a fertilizer recipe there. That's interesting. 1 animal feed and 1 water will make fertilizer, so you could technically have a pasture just producing fertilizer to run a farm, I suppose. Not that I'm going to do that because we don't particularly need that. I am going to have this sort of system here where they can both use the corn that's in the centre fields. I could stack them quite close together so that they use the inner sides as well. I may do that, so we just have more farms and less fields. I think that would make sense. That does involve putting back the farms that I took out last episode. So, but yeah, this needs to change. So I am going to stop these 2 farms temporarily. I need to figure out a way as well to get the farms outputting into the correct sort of places, if that makes sense. So that I know each farm is getting used. Because if I built a bank of farms and had them all come down one end, the farms on the end would produce stuff and the farms here wouldn't, because the belts would just be clogged. So maybe I need a grain mill for every 2 farms. That seems to kind of work at this current level. So I may do that. I may do a grain mill for every 2 farms. I will put in a barn as well to store the grain that then goes into the grain mill. So it's got a buffer. That's sort of the idea there. But yeah, I think that's gonna probably make more sense. I'm just not sure how I want to do this. I want to overlap the farms. I couldn't do cells of farms. I want to overlap them, so that would work. So I'd have to have the grain mill on the end, top or bottom. Means the farm. I was thinking of staggering the farms, but that would look odd. Would it? I mean, I can obviously thin these out as well. I'm pretty damn sure I could have the farms not have as large a crops to them. But then the more crops they have, the faster they produce things. So surrounding them is a better idea than not surrounding them. I think it still counts even though they're covered by 2 different farms. But yeah, because if I add 1 worker to that one, he runs at 101% at the moment. Whereas if I build a new farm and put him over here, he would be running at 94%. So just having the fields around him would actually make him faster. So we definitely want to do that. Okay, which means I'm going to have the grain mills and storage barns at the end, which would involve 1 farm running around the other one. Which is okay, I suppose. No reason why it shouldn't be. Oh, actually, I have another idea. Let's remove that and grab a barn. One over here somewhere. Yep. And I can put a barn up there. Like so. Which may look a little strange, but you can do that. You can build barns floating in midair. And then what I can do is I can grab a wooden pillar. And we can go up to, is it 2? Or do I need more than 2? No, I think it's even just probably 1. Then put that on top. I know I can run the pillars up and do it this way, but I want to do the scaffold because you can't run the pillars across. They must be built up from something. So there we go. And then we could run a line out there to a grain mill down there. So then our buffer is in the centre. So these 2 farms feed to a buffer in the centre. And then they just output down to a grain mill at either end. And every 2 farms will have its own grain mill. Yeah, every 2 farms have its own grain mill, and then the grain mills can output to. Rather than talk about it, let's just build it. Let's just build it because that's probably the best way of doing things. I tend to overthink stuff. Or not think about it enough at all. That's generally how it works with me. So let's not overthink it. Let's put down one of those there. Now that's got to come down, hasn't it? So 1, 2, 3 is the highest that can go. So that, like that, and like that. Okay. Then we can take away those ones underneath. Don't quite know why I put the road in there, but boom, and that can do that. And then there can be a grab on the side there. There we go. Okay. And then if we turn these farms back on again, that will produce that. That will go down into there. Well, it won't go down to there because we have no recipes right now. But I'm going to leave that. I'll leave that. I don't want any recipes. The question is, though, do I want to leave it on the grain mill's internal storage, or do I want to have more barns being dotted around? Because I could always have, but let's just do it. Why not? If I did, hold on. Before I do that, I realise I'm saying before I do this, before I do that, and you have no idea what I'm doing. You have no idea what I'm thinking. But yeah, if I put in that farm there, one, two, three, 4, 5. So that is the centre line. Okay, and then I could put in a barn there, and a barn there, and then another grain mill there. And the idea would be, I would have that barn set to, say, flour, that barn set to animal feed, and then next to it another barn which is set to flour, and this can output to that one, and this can output to that one and the one next to it, and that one in the center, basically the animal feed goes, if you're looking at it from behind, well, look at it from the front, that one goes to the right and that one goes to the left. So that makes sense? Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. I'm not sure how many banks of these farms I want. Might go with 3 to start with, but this can be expanded out further along if it needs to be. We will remove those farms and it can be expanded along. I think all our iron is being eaten up now. It has. So this can be decommissioned. And that's not going to be in the way at all. There we go. Okay, and that can go right, and you can just go and park over there for a minute. You still had some stuff in you, but yeah. So then when we build these across here, just that first farm needs to be removed. I'll probably do that now, if I'm honest with you, because these are not running at capacity at all. This is not, well, it is running at capacity. I mean, those farms are outputting, they're grabbing crops faster than what's going on there, but I think I may bring that first farm to a stop so we can build out and cover things in there. And I could keep 1 row of grain because that's in line. Yeah, right. Okay. So we are going to need another one of those there. Right. Yep, you are already gathering crops, that's fine. How are we looking for fertilizer? We have plenty of fertilizer, that's good. Although we don't have plenty of fertilizer. 200 is not a lot. Not a lot at all. There. Don't know why I did that, because you can see it when you mouse over it. Don't quite know what I was thinking there. Okay. And there we go, we're out of fertilizer. We are going to probably run out of corn as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a pusher and put it there. So when we start using the corn up, it will refill that barn absolutely fine. This is now defunct. You've got 1 corn in you. Don't care. No, you can go. It is a shame you can't get this corn back here. There's no way to recover it at all. So okay, and I can then shorten that rail. Remove that. We don't want that rail stop there. Okay. Yeah, there's no way to gather that corn. Can workers gather that corn? Because when it's placed on a farm tile, it regrows automatically. Out in the world, it doesn't. I need to test that. I need to very quickly test that. You. Got it. You. Grab. You can apparently harvest grain. Do we have one? That one. That one has 1 in it. So grab that grain and put it in that grain mill. And when you harvest that 1 grain, oh no, it disappears. Ah, so it must be farms that auto replant it and not. Okay, so I've learned something today. Right. That means today is good. I have learned something new. Always learn something new every day. That's what you need to do. Always need to make sure you learn something new every day. So unfortunately, get rid of that there. We're going to get rid of that there. Getting rid of resources seems really strange after I spent so long trying to collect as many as I could. But early game, you feel like you have to. You feel like you really have to try and gather as many resources as possible. And then in late game, you're just like, trees, big batch of mana crystals. Nah, just get rid of it. Just destroy it. It's fine. Don't need it. Right. Okay. So let's set up this here. So we want that one, that one, that one, and that one. You will have a and your animal feed. So you are going to be power. Okay. Grabber, a grabber, and then filter them as they need to go. Could do it from the front entrance, have it auto. No, because it may block up if I do that. We'd end up with a flower on the conveyor belt, and there'd be no animal feed somewhere, so that wouldn't work. Flower. You are a flower, and then you two are going to be animal feed. Oh, don't want to. I don't think linking two of them up together. I've said this many times. I don't think linking two grabbers together makes any difference, but just in case. Okay. So that's that. We then want to we can't put scaffold blocks in the mid-air there. That's interesting. Okay, so that's not up at level 3, is it? That's up at level 2 or something. Is it? Is it at 3? I'm not sure. Let's bring that over. It is at 3. Okay. Could have done that in the first place. Don't know why I didn't, but and yeah, the wonderful thing that changed a little while ago, if you copy a building, providing the center block is level, it will fill out anything there is. So like here, I put the center block there, and it auto fills out underneath the other scaffold blocks. So we know that's good. And I've realised I should have planted the corn before I did that, because it's now going to be a little awkward to do that. So let's plant grain there. There and under there. There we go. Okay. And then we can plant grain everywhere else. So I do think we're going to run out of grain at some point. The good thing about building this sort of system this way is that we have grain now backed up in that barn there. So that is good. And you can do that. Okay, and then we can grab another wooden pillar, go up one, and then put that on top. 1, 2, 3. Boom, boom, boom. Scaffold block, change into slope. There we go. And do that. There we go. Okie dokie. Right. You aren't going to need any filters on these ones here, because there's no way any person can drop anything into them, because no workers can get to them. I'm going to probably regret saying that at some point, because I will come to one of these at some point and there'll be some random thing inside it and be like, where did that come from? Where did that come from? Okay, and grab that there. Grabber out there. Okay. And that means that our storage barns are happy, I think. If we put another one there, we'd have an extra barn on the end, and then we'd have 2 animal and 2 flower. The centre flowers are going to fill up first because they're going to be doubled up, obviously. But I think that's going to be okay. I'm just toying with the idea whether I want the barns to be like all in one place, whether I want these to be like here in line and have all the other stuff filter out to it so that it's easier for our rail to get to. I could just run a rail line across this and it would still work fine. But the drawback to doing that is that the first barn gets emptied. That would be emptied, and then that would be skipped. And that would be emptied, and the next barn would be skipped. So I think that really wouldn't work, because then these farms will start working more because their barns are emptied before other people's. But there's no other way I can think of doing this sort of way. Unless I only have 2 barns and have all the grain mills feed into 2 barns, which would still work. 3 lines of conveyors coming out. In 2 different locations, coming to 2 different barns. I think that's going to be a better idea rather than this setup. Although this setup would work. Right, again, let's stop thinking and start doing. Right. So get rid of that. Yeah, rid of that. Remove that one. Copy this one and put it there. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just toying with the idea of moving the grain mills to be in between the farms and just not have a grain storage. Then maybe have a grain storage like at one end, just have a single farm. Or a conveyor system. I'm thinking I want to do that. Have all the farms output onto belts and have the belts go round. Like have a third set and have the belts go round to the big loop. And feeding into 3 different grain mills as they go. So that all the farms will get an opportunity to output into different grain mills. This will work. I mean, we got banks. This is a bank, that's a bank, and then they output to wherever they need to go to. Yeah, this will work. So let's get rid of that one. So we're going to have 2 here, which are a little bit awkward because they poke at the end. I should really have 2 on the end, shouldn't I? they all go to it. But it doesn't matter where they are. Right, let's let's just do this. Right, so we want one, two, that. Or do we don't want it coming out of the main entrance because that's gonna cause issues. Don't need to come in. Trying to think of the logistics of moving this around. Right. Do you know what? I'm going to double back on that and I'm going to go back to the previous design. Simply because it's a little bit more compact. And I think it'll work. I think it would work. You just have to muck about with the trains a little bit differently. So this is going to be flour and you are going to be flour. You do not want to be connected to that. Stop. And then you are going to be animal feed. And you are going to be... And then I suppose I best filter these because they're on the ground and don't want them having random stuff put in them for no good reasons. Feed. That one. Okay. And I might then have another set of barns out and then the barns feed barns. I don't know. Or I might just have the trains come in and grab whatever. Maybe I could build some sort of filter system where when one train goes to that barn, the next train must go to that barn. Then back to that one. And then back to that one. So that they're always going to and from. They're never going to the same barn over and over. Might be an interesting concept to build. Don't know. Right. So this should work. Let's start it up, shall we? So we want to do both, if you don't mind. Flour and animal feed. It doesn't matter what order you put them in there. It's whatever one that picks it down. I'm not even convinced it matters what order you put in there, even if they're the same recipe designs. The one here I did. No, there wasn't. I'm sure there was one I... Oh yeah, it was the kitchen, wasn't it? I can't remember now. I'm sure there was one I did where they used different resources but the same amount of resources, and it didn't matter which order. It just did like whichever one. It didn't prioritize one over the other. I mean, it just sort of picked one and did one and did the next one. Didn't necessarily pick the top one, is what I'm trying to say there. It sometimes picked the bottom one to do. Yeah, so if I turn these on, now you're going to start doing that. You can stop. In fact, you can, I'm afraid, be fired because you were just a test. So you are now producing animal feed and flour, which is awesome. And that's going into these here. And you are outputting into the barns, as are you. No, you're not. Is that because this farm is taking priority of putting it into the barn? Well, there's not a great deal I can do about that, so yeah. I have to deal with that. Okay. You are, for some bizarre reason, full on... Oh, really? Why don't you tell me I did that? I don't know. That was no good. That was no good. That wants to be animal feed, and that wants to be flour. And we want to take the one off there, and the one off there. Start that again, and then you can output. There we go, and now everything makes sense. Hey, see, I knew that. I knew that. Yep. Right. So we now have animal feed and flour and things going. I do want to add a third bank in there, just not right now. I think. Yeah, this system here obviously was fantastic when the farms were overpowered and the packages were being completely full. Now they're not. It would still work, I suppose, if I had like 4 or 5 farms dropping the grain into a packager and then a train taking it over to the grain mills. If that was the way I wanted to do it, then this system would work. Packaging it up would work, because then a single rail cart can take 40 items rather than they carry 20, don't they? Is that right? Yeah, they carry 20 in their inventory. So 2, 4, 6. That's 80. You can carry 80 corn in one go, which would be fine. Which would be really good, but it doesn't need that. It doesn't need it, because grain isn't required in that many places. Only ever required by the grain mill. That's it. I don't think grain is used in anything else. You can feed it directly to people if you wanted to, but I don't know if I'd want to eat grain directly. It's not very tasty. Yeah, so right, that is working. So the next step to that would be, where are we going to use the flour and the animal feed? Well, if we want a sandwich shop, which I really do want a sandwich shop, we need cooked chicken, we need bread, and we need dairy. And dairy also requires cloth, so that's going to require another set of fields somewhere producing cloth. Cloth is used in a couple of different places. So cloth may be one that ends up on the main route when it's moved around. I seem to be migrating over this way a bit with things going, but as I clear this out, I can obviously build things near. So maybe our cloth could go down here, and then our main train loop could be around there with the offshoots coming off of it. And no real plan for that sort of thing for the train loops. We've still got our steam system that's still going. Oh, good point. We could increase production speeds if we needed to, which we may do, but not right now. Right, I'm going to remove all these because I don't think we're going to get to using them. So if I put another one of those in there, we would use that corner there. So we'd go out to there. That's the furthest our farm will go. Right, okay, so yeah, that's the furthest our farm will go. Our farms will go. Sure if I'd ever need to expand this further. Flour isn't used in that many places. Animal feed is, so that's going to get used up more than everything. But with doing it this way, it basically means that if the flour is full, it will just switch to animal feed, and it will prioritize animal feed anyway, because that's only requires 2. So if anything ever happens and it's not getting enough grain, it will prioritize the animal feed, because 2 becomes 3. And we have a complete stack of animal feed there. We will have another stack there at some point. Animal feed. Boom. And just feel if I do this now, then I know it's done. And then that is going to be animal feed. And that one is going to be flour. So they're the correct way around this time. Yep. You know what? I'm doing it anyway. Let's just build it, shall we? Let's One there, one there. Grab barn there. Grab that one. Oh, and want to put a conveyor belt in there. Okie dokie. So then we need a structure block. Doom. Like so, and that, and there we go. Okay, and again, I haven't even put in the farm tiles underneath it, let alone the actual grain. God, really like making life difficult. Grain. Fill in with fields. Luckily we have the fertilizer for it, which is good. He says as he runs out. That figures. And we need one more. So, come on, fertilizer. Come on, where are you? Come on. One fertilizer. Oh, no fertilizer. One fertilizer. Why we're not getting any fertilizer in? Is it because we no longer have the amount of output going on here? Well, you're certainly not using any fertilizer anymore, so let's turn that around. You don't move, do you? No, you don't. Okay, so we'll take the fertilizer off that belt and we'll put it back in the base, and then that will allow us to put in that one there. Right, there we go. Yay! And then we can plant the corn. Okay, so I think that's going to be everything. There we go. I have noticed if you randomly mouse around things, you'll eventually get this pop-up down the bottom. No crop planted, which means that there's a tile somewhere with nothing on it, which is that one there. Oh, there we go. That's a one little way. If you just sort of mouse over your fields like this, just randomly wiggle, eventually the mouse pointer will come to something that's there we go. Another one there. Saw that pop up. Just I noticed it. And yeah, you don't have to really look at it. There's another one there as well. You can sort of see it, obviously, with your eyes, but sometimes it's quite difficult to know whether a crop is planted completely or not, because it does get a little bit much. And you can just sort of mouse around and go. There we go. Another one popped up just then, which means over here somewhere. Where? Don't see it. There it is. Just by wiggling the mouse over the top of it, you get that little warning come up, and luckily that warning stays up for quite a while. So, it's quite a helpful little little thing that. You see, I'm not getting any tooltips coming up there, but if I mouse over an area that had one, so let's just remove that one there. I'm not getting a tooltip, but if I mouse over the area, it pops up and it stays up. Even when you mouse over things, it stays up for quite a while. So, a lovely little warning. Just a lovely little sort of warning there, which I like. Okay, so we now have 2 barns full of animal feed, 2 barns full of flour. The next stage is to connect this up to the rest of the system, or build the rest of the system. But I think I'm going to leave that for the next episode. Not a lot's happened in this one. I'm sorry about that. I've been sort of rambling about ideas and bits and pieces, but hopefully you'll see kind of what I'm getting at with how I want to design this. So a bit like Factorio, where you have your central belts of stuff that go to different places. I'm going to do the same sort of thing here, just with minecarts and this sort of system. So yeah, we shall leave that one here. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Hope to see you again next time, and until then, as always, have fun.